Is Hot Girl Summer still happening this year?
How many carbs are in a White Claw?
If I squat every day, will I get a dump truck?
I'm Shay.
I'm Leah.
We are Two-Tone Training.
You're listening to Don't Tone Alone. Touchdown back in Boston. Wicked.
Leah just loves throwing in the wicked to every single podcast.
I was telling them in St. Louis, we say wicked so much. Wicked this,
every
wicked
time,
that.
every time you tune into our podcast.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, but we've been world travelers, really, from all
Truly.
the way from St. Louis. This past few days, we were in Maine, living La Vida Loca in Portland. And now I think Lee and I have finally had the chance to sit down and really recap our trip. I feel like
I haven't spoken to you since we got off the plane.
She's like, I've had enough time with you. We've been on the plane together. We've been working out together, which is typical for us. But usually there's some breaks in between. But
yeah.
We've just been suction cupped
attached
to each other
at the hips.
But now that we can really do our deep dive,
yeah.
What did you think of the trip?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to talk about things like right away. I'm glad that we each got a few days.
They had the chance. It's like chicken, right? They had the chance to like marinate in the fridge overnight.
I say we get all. You love the marinade. You're like marinate on it.
Marinate on it. Let the seasoning really just
seep into the chicken breast. Yes, perfect. I am just still in awe of that trip. I think that they thought we were someone else. Like I'm like, I almost didn't want to tell them that we were two-tone training.
I don't want to correct you if you thought we were.
If you thought like we had like, or like Claire P. Thomas. Yeah, I was like,
we get that confused all the time.
Right. The washboard abs. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm confused on why you're treating us like we're royalty. From the second we got off the plane, our BFF Nick, who has been our first Phorm coach, greeted us with like energy drinks, bars, mints. I was like, you get 5 stars and a great review for this Uber. And then to them decorating our locker with like the thoughtfulness behind it, like our tattoos, the quotes.
Yeah, I want to talk about this locker. We literally walk into the first Phorm headquarters, and the whole place is just immaculate. It is bigger than your Walmart superstores, just to give you guys an idea of what this place looks like.
Yeah.
It is not only decorated to perfection.
There's like a Porsche in the lobby.
Yeah. So I pulled in my Porsche right there, parked it, threw it in reverse, and we are walking through, and just everything has a place. Everything has a purpose.
Everything has a quote on the wall.
There are a few things that I've taken away from this trip, and one is definitely the work ethic that these employees have. But 2 is just like the list of rules. Like in the gym, I was like, Leah, we need a list of rules
in our apartment.
So like, what would be on ours? Like 1 seltzer a day. Take out the trash.
Wash the dishes within 24 hours.
Don't leave your Tough Cookies meals in the fridge on
if
Friday.
You're going away for a weekend, or else you will come back and the food will smell.
What else do I got for you?
I don't know. You can think about it. You have some time.
Yeah.
But they are just, I want to say type A people, and they just
A+ people,
but type A+ people, because there's a rhyme and there's a reason for everything. And I think the most interesting part of it all was that they really recognize that their work ethic translates on and off the strength floor, right? That's why they say people in fitness have great character, because they have the discipline, the perseverance, the motivation that maybe others lack.
Right. And they kept saying like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And a lot of times they do like team type workouts. I think they were a little taken back when the two-tone workout, because it really was something
out of their element.
Haven't done. They're used to like really a coach versus like a group fitness
right.
instructor.
They're very much CrossFit heavy when it comes to first Phorm.
Right.
And we're like, and here's a star jack, lateral lunge to jumping jack to switch kick.
But what I loved about by the time we did this class is like, I know you guys, it's ingrained in you that you have to finish it no matter what it looks like. So like keep with the star jacks. And I mean, they pushed us to our limits in the workout. My abs still hurt from
so we
those
did
GHD sit-ups.
Yeah, so we landed Wednesday. Thursday they put us through a CrossFit type workout. Friday we taught a class for them, two-tone style. So the Thursday workout, reverse bear crawl. So it's one thing to
quit.
bear
I was like,
crawl
I know that's
forward.
a rule, so there's no way
there's
can
no
stop.
quitting. It's another thing to bear crawl backwards. Oh my quad.
Oh my quad.
Yeah, it was very intense, but I think the beautiful thing about it all was that we were pushed outside of our comfort zone doing that workout, and they were pushed outside of their comfort zone doing the bodyweight workout, but everyone had a great attitude.
Right. Oh my God. In the back of my head while doing those reverse bear calls, I was like, haha, like it's coming to you. It's coming to you at Jarrett. Like I see
Jarrett
what you're
W.
doing
Bond
here, and I'm going to triple it come our two-tone workout. But they did such a great job and had such a great attitude. We even left the First Phorm headquarters like on our last day. They had an ice cream truck come. I think that was already planned, but
they knew we were coming.
They
know how much we love ice cream.
Like how much we love ice cream.
Right. I don't know. It was such a crazy trip, such a eye-opening experience, and I think we both recognize how lucky we truly are to have gotten to experience something like that. And then when I say lucky we truly are to experience, I want to include the gooey cake in that.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of working out. It was a lot of protein shakes, but in between all of that, we had trashed wings, which means it's double fried. Which
I think we talk about with Jarrett a little bit. Guys, we'll get into the food. You guys are in for a treat with this podcast. We sit down with Jarrett, who is the head of Athetes and Influencers at First Phorm, and he is... It's funny. He's a man of few words, but the words he does say, like, they stick with you. Each thing that comes out of his mouth is a quote, something you would want ingrained in your memory, posted on your wall, stitched on a pillow. Mm-hmm. And I just hope that, I know that you guys are going to take a lot away from the podcast and figuring out just ways to level up, not only in your life, but in like your relationships. He talks a lot about his relationships with the different athletes that he coaches, whether it's in CrossFit, whether it's functional fitness, but he also talks about the relationships he has with his coworkers, and he opens up about the relationships with his parents and with his wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something we can learn from Jarrett is just taking accountability. Accountability is everything. Owning it, owning your ish, and putting your best foot forward.
Hey, all right. So with that being said, we're going to kick it over to Jarrett. Let us know what you guys think. Also, keep an eye out for the vlog that's going to be launching right after this podcast. So you'll really get to see a behind-the-scenes look of the First Phorm headquarters, what we were really doing in St. Louis besides stuffing our face with ooey gooey cake.
And lots of brisket. All right, enjoy this podcast.
Leah, I don't know if it's the shake or just like walking into the First Phorm headquarters that I just like already feel the gains.
I feel yoked.
You're busting out of this long
The sleeves need to come off. They might come off on their own.
It's in the air. I like it. I dig it.
The goal is to look like you, Jarrett. Well, what is the secret? What's the secret?
I wish I was joking, but I promise you, if you guys follow me online, I sometimes show my meals. I eat like a small child, and I'm proud. I don't get to pick my superpower, but I could pretty much eat anything, and I'm very intentional about adding protein to my meal. So, cereal, love it. I eat it just.
What's your favorite cereal?
And do you like sprinkle First Phorm powder?
No. I'll usually have Formula One after. I like thin shakes, so like Level 1, things like that. It's great. It's just not my jam. Formula One all the time for me. But cereal, like I gotta ask you a question first, because are we talking dessert cereal or are we talking like...
Okay. There's different categories of cereals.
Like, so if I have ice cream, I want like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like sprinkled on my ice cream.
Which I don't think is a popular opinion.
Yeah, but trust me, game changer for all of
you. Dessert cereal. What are we looking at?
Count Chocula.
How dare you not show us the gooey goods, Nick?
It's funny, we ate like our weight in brisket, and then Nick dropped us off at the hotel, and then
we were like twiddling our thumbs. It's like 8:30, and we walked our sorry butts 1.8 miles to Andy's Custard, and we got ice cream.
Oh, right on.
And then we walked back.
That was the move.
Custard's big here too.
Yeah, that's what we're
I am a fan of custard.
This building is unbelievable, and I feel like every single person that we passed to was just like so
kind,
so community driven.
Yeah. A big thing, and I appreciate the compliments about the building, stuff like that. A lot of us, when I started here, there's 25, 30 of us. And actually what drew me here was actually the people. We try to maintain that standard because you could have all the coolest things. You can go to the coolest places in the world, but if people suck, your experience kind of, but we like to say people make the party, but it's true. You can go to the worst places in the world with the best people and have the best time.
Right.
I love how Nick described this building. Like, this place is like a mullet, right? Business in the front,
party in the back.
We saw some of the party room. Also, we didn't really do a formal introduction yet.
No,
so.
we've just been casually chatting.
We have Jarrett Bond here. He is the athlete and influencer director here at First Phorm. So any of the really strong relationships that you've kind of seen come out of just like this First Phorm community, I think a lot of it can be attributed to you. Our team and specifically has just talked about just what a presence you are, the relationship building that you have not only created among your team, but among athletes and legionnaires. Like, I guess, what is the secret sauce to that?
Whoever said that, God bless them and thank them for me. But, again, I don't want to say people make the party, but I've learned this very early on in life, and I've just stuck with it. It's anytime you surround yourself, not that you're hiring them, but hire for character, train for skill. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
You
can't
walks
teach
through
that.
these doors. Exactly. I could teach you all about supplements, nutrition, sales, social media, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Can't teach you how to care.
Yeah.
Can't teach you how to do the right thing. I can model that all day, as a leader should, but that's an internal thing. You've got to want that. So, especially the core group, even athletes, whomever I bring on. Look, man, it's great. You could be the top champion, king ding-a-ling, all that stuff.
King ding-a-ling.
Gotta meet that guy.
Yeah, but truly, I don't care, because how you treat people on and off the court really matters. I mean, you're a direct reflection of us and who we've built, and a lot of people paved the way for us to be here, and we're just getting started. So it's really, really important. It only takes one bad seed to ruin a good thing.
I totally agree. And I think what was really interesting, and we've obviously done a deep dive of your social media, is that
we've stalked your life. Sorry.
You're really open just with relationships, and you talk about off the court. You talk about about your relationship with your wife and how you've just changed, like, as a man and in that relationship. And I guess, can you walk us through that a little bit?
Oh man, yeah. Now we're getting good.
We're getting deep.
The relationship juice.
You know what? And this is good, because really, if I have a conviction, I'm actually very vocal. I'll say this too. I don't work with people like per se. Like, it's not a business relationship. I do life with my people, and they know that, and I really mean that. A lot of people like Claire Thomas, like whoever, Tia, Claire Toomey, whomever it may be, they stay at our house. They can certainly stay at a hotel, but I promise you they would prefer to stay at our house just because we're that close. And I wouldn't have it any other way. If I have a leadership flaw, that's it. I get too close to my people, because you can kind of blur that line now.
Yeah.
But I'll always choose that. But and many of them, like, we have good conversations. Any good relationship, that's what it is. It's like, hey, you do life together. I know the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. But you know what? I choose to love you anyway. It's really, really important. But all that said, a conviction of mine, I'm really seeing there's a lot of boys out there.
Heard that.
We are lacking men currently. And there's a lot of 30-year-old boys that live in home. In their in their mother's basement, their grandma's basement, the priest, the provider, the protector doesn't really exist. And that really.
So why do you think that is?
I'm a big advocate of extreme ownership. I really feel like it's a generational thing. We let a little bit slip, let a little bit slip, let a little bit slip, and now we're here.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one generation's fault. It was the combination of everything, and over time.
I love that you just own it. But I guess from your point of view, like, are there any like red flags you see for women? I guess let's flip it. Yeah. Is there anything that kind of stands out to you that it's like an absolute deal breaker?
Man, I'm very thankful. I've been married a little bit over 14 years now. I got married 22. I'm 36.
Wow.
God bless you all, because I don't know how I would date off of it.
It's rough out here.
Really, I'm like, man, if you can't look me in the eye and have a conversation, like, I probably don't want to date you. Like, I'm just
right. Yeah. It's so crazy now, especially what we've met a lot of like influencers and athletes, and they have this crazy following. They have this quote unquote personality online, and then you meet them in person, and you're like, do you want to make eye contact or talk about something real?
Yeah. And man, I feel like that's going to be a big thing, and we kind of even see it even with we hire a lot of younger people here,
right?
Which again, it's great. I love it, but you can kind of see, like, man, social skills are starting to really sit. I think COVID only expedited that as well.
For sure.
Because how many things can be done virtually, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some things that I'm sure there was a point in your life where maybe you didn't take as much ownership as you do now, and what sort of sparked that? And
Yep.
Yeah.
No, great questions. I'll say this, and it's kind of a cool one-liner.
Yeah.
The best experience is experiences. The best experience is
I
experiences.
feel like we're gonna have so many just like
quotes
from this.
Yes.
Spark
Like new tattoo idea. Let's go.
Should we just get tatted on the pod? This would go
Jarrett's
viral.
face plus that quote. Let's go.
Although I'm only 36, I've lived multiple lives already. And we all go through different seasons of lives or your life. And, again, I'm open, and I'm open to anybody. Here's what I've learned too, and Sal says it a little differently, a little bit more colorful. I try not to swear or anything, but when you can just be open and honest and speak the truth, even in relationships, guess what? When you get married, it's two become one. It's not all of a sudden like, hey, you're perfect, like this is it. It's like, no.
So did you guys get married before this change? I guess.
Oh yeah, marriage is fun in itself, and man. Please, let's circle back to this too, because I could go a lot of directions. Marriage is a lot of fun, and I would say for the most part, and again, it's not girl guy versus each other. I feel like females typically mature faster than guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I was a different person when I was 22 compared to I was 28 compared to 32 and et cetera. I wasn't the best husband. I look back, no different than even as a CrossFit coach. Man, some of the cues I gave when I first became a coach, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I say?
Yeah, we did the same thing.
We
cringed. The IG lives back, and I'm like, oh, can we delete this?
Yeah.
But I think it's important to watch it.
And it is, and you know what? It's a good reflection, because here's what'll happen: people even see you two now and be like, oh, it must be nice.
Yeah.
They got lucky. Like, oh, okay. And no, you don't see the years, the hours, all the time, the dedication that you were putting in work, and you're just seeing the end result, or not even the end result.
Right.
But, much further along.
Part of the highlight, a little snapshot.
Yeah. But again, I mean, relationships are tough, and both parties have to realize hey, it's not just all you and me. Any good relationship, it's like, hey, you have to win, I have to win, and everybody has to win. And sometimes winning is actually losing.
Right.
Early on in a relationship, it's like, no, I want to be right, so I'm going to win the argument.
Oh yeah, that's me sometimes, and I'm able to take a step back and see it.
Well, another one-liner. I'm full of these, by the way.
Down.
Many people, and I see it in business and life and relationships, they will win tactically but lose strategically. You won
the long game.
Yeah, it's a long game. It's a long game. What's it really matter? Is it going to matter in 5 years? Cool, let it go. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, babe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a man right there.
I think I was put in the position I am. Andy and Sal saw this early on, as a character quality in me. People are people to me. I don't care if, Ed Milet, Jocko, David Goggins, if, you're a janitor coming off the street, I'll treat you the same. And I don't get starstruck. I mean, again, because it's just...
Besides by us.
Exactly.
So humble over there.
I like it. But you should treat everyone the same regardless. But naturally, some people have been with me longer. And some people truly have. I've worked with from the infancy of their Instagram and everything else. And, Claire Thomas comes to mind right away. Mm-hmm. Claire's great. When I started working with Claire, she had a little bit over 100,000 followers. Now, if you look at her, and following's whatever, right?
Yeah, right.
She's well over 1 million. But man, how she went from working at Love Your Melon, out of college, making $60,000 a year, and again working profession. Yeah, she liked pay the bills, allowed her freedom and to network and things like that, but it wasn't her passion. Wasn't what she really wanted to do. Some of my favorite calls, my favorite texts, things like this, hey Jarrett, calling, bawling, whatever it may be, what's wrong? No. I was finally able to have my mom work for me full time, or hey, I finally got the car I wanted, like the white Range Rover with the black, and things like that. That's hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and amazing. I think that's what builds those deep relationships. And I know your team was even saying a big thing that you say is when someone wins, you win, and then that's a relationship that you can't surpass.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense logically, but if you make it about them, whoever that is, they'll make it about you.
what goes around comes
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for sure. I think it was really interesting. Our camera died, but then we're back. We were talking about how just social media has changed the game so much, and sometimes what you see online doesn't totally match what's in person.
Yeah.
So Jarrett, right out of his mouth, said we were more beautiful, taller,
more charismatic,
way more chiseled.
to name a few, in person.
Don't want to put words in your mouth, but is there anything, I mean, not to throw anyone under the bus, but anything that kind of like stands out when you meet someone online versus when you meet someone in person?
Yeah. From my experience, the best people online are, guess what? The best people in real life.
Wow.
Because you can only fake it for so long.
Right.
And again, we live in a digital era, unfortunately. But it really does suck when you look up to someone and your idol, like, man, this guy's got me through so much. And,
Yeah.
Then you meet him and it's a complete letdown. And it does happen. It's very unfortunate. The fitness industry, really what we combat is that. It's like, hey, man, as we spoke a couple minutes ago, I don't care if you do yoga, I don't care if you do CrossFit, if like hip hop dancing's your thing, cool, great.
I cannot believe you hip hop
Yeah.
dance.
You'll see.
Are you going to show us a move?
I
If your favorite song comes on, one move, like what is it?
Oh man,
Like the go-to?
I don't even know what it's called. It was taught by Reggie, who we'll see Friday. So,
Okay,
so
you'll
you're
just
Yeah.
show us then.
Yeah.
It's probably, I can see it being like in the hips.
It's all,
It's all in the hips.
Yeah.
But you did speak about how you do have fitness ADD.
Yeah.
So why is that? What?
I preach this message, if you will. I feel fitness needs to be fun.
That's our motto.
Fitness should be
It
fun.
has to be, because again, it's similar to dieting. What's the best diet? Well, the one you can stick to, the one you could adhere to and you actually enjoy and you like. So again, if you like yoga, cool.
Yeah.
There's enough people, and man, like people in the fitness space will battle each other. It's like, hey, there's enough people not doing anything, completely overweight, poor lifestyles, like unhealthy, depressed, everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Why don't we? Hey, come with a walk for me. Even just a walk.
Yeah.
Andy has a program that he created, 75 Hard. A lot of people are aware of that.
Yeah.
But it almost, in my opinion, made walking cool again. Hey, throw away best 45 minutes. It's better than nothing.
We're
I don't
starting
think anyone would argue that.
We're starting a hawk or walk club. So
Yeah,
I
throw
love
on your
that.
ankle
Yeah.
weights. You could do a hip hop dance while
Yeah.
you walk with the ankle weights.
Yeah.
Again, and some of the biggest things I've seen, even with something as little as walking.
Yeah.
Hey, do it with your significant other. Watch the conversation you have. Leave this at home. Actually, leave your phone at home.
Yeah.
That's another thing we talk about a lot on our podcast is like fitness lifestyle compatibility. Like, do you think that is a thing, and is your significant other really into fitness the way you are?
Here's my personal opinion. And again, back to experience, beauty's vain. Look, you girls are really beautiful. But the reality is, guess what? You're going to get older.
Yeah.
You're going to have wrinkles.
Stop. Don't say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
say
true.
that.
Shade's like, not
Your
Botox.
body-
Botox.
When you have kids, guess what? Your body will not go back to the original state. Like
Right.
that's what it is. That's a superficial layer. If your relationship's superficial, it will not last. It will not last. Who you are as a person, your core values, how you interact, what you care about, it needs to be more layers deep than just looks.
Absolutely.
And do you feel like, I know we talked about your relationship a little bit, and that being a tipping point of kind of the way you took ownership and how your relationship has changed. Do you feel like your core values though throughout has been the same, and that's kind of what has kept the relationship together?
No, I'll try to give the abbreviated version of this. I came from a broken family, and specifically, you can read about this online. I made a post. You can only write so much in a post, but when I was 5.5, almost 6 years old, I have two sisters, but one sister lived with me. My parents, were together. They would always fight. We'd be upstairs and you just hear them yelling at each other, stuff breaking, things like that. Definitely not a perfect marriage by any means, but I remember my sister and I upstairs playing vividly one morning. And keep in mind, like I'm 5.5, like I'm pretty young. Like I can't tell you what I ate yesterday.
Right. I still can't, but yeah.
But yeah, we're upstairs, we're playing, goofing around, whatever. We hear them arguing, like, oh, okay, they're
Here we
fighting
go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again. But Jarrett, Erica, get down here. I'm like, oh shoot, come on, like, all right, quicker, get down here. Like, so we get down there. I see my father on the right, my mother on the left on the living room. there's a bag packed on each side of them. My dad looks at me and says, "Hey, if you had to live with one of us, who would you live with?" I was like, "Well, of course you, Dad. Like, you're my guy. Like, okay." I look up to my dad. You know? Same question. My sister Erica. Well, Mom. Like it just naturally whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Look, I got your bag packed. We're gonna go camping. I'm like, right on. Let's roll. So we go to a local place. It's called Athetes and Sportsman's Club. There's ball fields, everything there, but it's like a hunting, fishing range, like everything. First couple of days, amazing. I'm like, man, this is awesome. Camping with my dad.
Yeah.
We're fishing, like, being a boy, loving life, things like that. About day 2 or 3 goes by. And I was like, hey, man, like, I'm ready to get home. I'm just being honest.
I'm done fishing.
These mosquito bites, ain't it?
I was like, hey, I really appreciate it. Can we go home? And things like that. And he looked me dead in the eye, and, I could tell he got really serious in his demeanor. He's like, can't. I'm like, well, what do you mean we can't? He's like, this is our home now. Your mother and I are splitting, and, for the time being, I'm not sure where we're going to go. And that was one of the few times I remember, too, seeing my dad cry. My father is originally from Missouri. He moved to Pennsylvania, where we were from the Navy. And to see your hero at that age, like, cry his eyes out. And I remember him calling people, I don't know who, but they wouldn't take us in. Like, look, we're homeless. Like, I have nowhere to stay.
Wow.
Like, I got Jarrett with me. Like, we have a tent, things like that. I remember getting bathed for about 2 weeks inside a big silver stainless steel commercial sink in the basement of Hutchison. That's how I was bathed. My clothing at that time, I did have some, but then I got hand-me-downs from the baseball, jerseys, things like that. A lot of my meals. So at the time, too, my mother quickly found out, later in life, she stole his credit cards, crushed his, credit, money, like everything, like left him with nothing,
Wow.
Like really terrible breakup. But yeah, so like my life has never really been like, okay, hey, I started on uphill. I'm saying all this though too, and I really mean this. I wouldn't change a thing.
Right.
Well, it's amazing because people look at your social media now, and you talked about it with us, and they see the
highlight
or the highlight reel, and they don't see.
Yeah. Coincidentally, Andy and I had a really good conversation last night, and another athlete was in town, and he was just asking us questions, and somehow my past got brought up, and I was like, hey, you know what? All that happened, but I wouldn't change a thing. Like, I really wouldn't. It wasn't pleasant at the time, but it made me the person I am today. It gave me grit, perseverance. I have perspective, but more importantly, had someone just came in and like, okay, hey, come live with us, and here's clothes, things like that, I would have never ever learned that lesson. I would have been robbed,
right?
And I get it. As humans, we're like, man, so and so is hungry, like, give them food.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for that.
Of course.
But also too, hey, some people, hey man, I've helped you twice, like, you're gonna have to learn.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to learn. I never wish I had upon a child.
Right,
or anything.
no.
But again, as I look back in my life, hey, I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason. People in your life for a reason, things like that.
Yeah.
It's just being aware of it.
Right.
Every day's a gift.
Yeah.
I think it's obviously morphed you into the person you're today. And I think people also, when you tell this story and you're so open with people, it makes them want to be open with you and vulnerable and open up. And I think that's why you have, or I know that's why you have so many strong relationships and the community that you guys have here. I guess taking it back to community and I guess on a little bit of a happier note, coming back from the CrossFit Games and some of those kind of relationships, why do you think that First Phorm specifically has gravitated so much towards more of like the CrossFit athletes?
Look, part of it, I mean, you're looking at the reason why. There's a few of us here, and I used to coach and compete in CrossFit. It was amazing. I came from CrossFit Ridgeline, which is in Morgantown, West Virginia. They had multiple regional teams. Like, they had some phenomenal. We had really great girls. Again, the girls carried the team. But man, phenomenal athletes, things like that. So I've always been biased, and even through there, I've gone to different camps, met. Honestly, even before I worked here, I worked out with most of the people, like, who you see on the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
So, just already had a relationship. And I always maintained that. I was like, man, there will be a time and place where eventually I could work with you, help you out at a greater capacity other than just being your friend. So really a lot of that was relationships I built 7 years ago, through competition or just different camps, like Power Monkey Camp. It's a phenomenal camp. It's held in Tennessee, right outside Cookeville. Some of the best athletes in the world go there. It's held by David Durante, Chad Vaughn, Olympic lifter, Olympic gymnast. It's an amazing time. It's an all-inclusive. This is not a plug for them, by the way.
I want to go there.
It is. They're great. But again, and that really opened my eyes, because you don't only just get to meet them, you actually get to train with them, converse with them, eat with them. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. And that'll really kind of buy in more. But, fast forward that to now, man, I really appreciate too some of the earlier adopters like Chris Diermo, Dan Bailey, people like that, because that's what it was. No different than us, man. You see that person online, you're like, man, they really that way?
Yeah.
Do they really treat people like that, or is it just for the gram? And then you meet people in real life, like, oh wow, okay, he walks the walk, or she walks the walk, or they're legit. And especially, I like to say we're no longer a supplement company. Really, we are a fitness brand. As you see, apparel,
So
shakes,
hold on.
So good.
The logo.
digital space, grab and go, and really we're only continuing. I hope Nick shared with this. I know they can't see it, but across the road there's construction. This is 180
building.
Yeah. Well, this is a 189,000 square foot building. Put that in perspective to just kind of visualize something. The average super Walmart is between 110 and 130. This is 189. We're building 2 more across the road, and one of them will be 3 to 5 stories big, depending on what the city will permit.
Yeah. Insane. So much growth.
We're growing.
And I think it also is like the work ethic that you see in like these CrossFit athletes, but also you see a similar, like, we were saying that it's like a type of person, right? It's the type of person that puts their weights back in the gym and strips their barbell, is the same type of person who comes in early for work, who says or follows through with what they
Who
said
never
they're
says
gonna do.
that's not my job.
Yeah.
There's these characteristics you see. And I think it's cool too that we were talking with some of the employees here about how when you guys look for these athletes, you're not necessarily looking for the followers. You're looking for these certain characteristics. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about that process.
100%. That's why, I'm really big on actually meeting people before you ever do any kind of like finalized deal or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's really, really important, and what we build here and what we have. And, I appreciate your kind words, like when we first, opened, but really, systems scale, people don't. You'll come a point to your business where you guys can only do so much. Literally, like time, energy, like everything. You only have so much working capacity. We all do. But when you can ingrain that in a culture and like, hey, this is how we do things, this is what we look for, and you have other people, okay, cool. I'm very biased with CrossFit. Like this, I stay in my lane, this and kind of UFC and a few other things, but like, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy. Cool. Well, guess what? We also have people in the NFL and, hockey, everything. I couldn't name one hockey player. But that's okay, because there's other people like Nick does a very good job, like, oh, hey, wow.
There were some NHL players around here
earlier,
They're like, hey.
Yeah, they're all, I'm like, geez, there is Gigantor there.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but it's really important to do things like this. Again, how do you treat the waiter when we're at dinner?
Yeah.
Did you walk over that trash? I know it's not your trash, but guess what? If you're not picking it up either, you're also contributing to the problem indirectly. By doing nothing, sometimes you are picking, you are deciding, you're choosing.
Yeah, very true. So for those people who are kind of watching and might be interested in becoming like an athlete and working with Phorm, are there certain things that you can kind of list out that might help them continue a partnership, or something that you guys look out for?
Yep, character. Your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're saying.
Wow. Another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, your actions are speaking so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. We got a lot of talkers out there.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I do this, I can do this, and like, don't tell me, show me. Show me. We're in a show me state. Welcome to Missouri. Like, let me see it.
Show me.
But yeah, that's really what it is. It's not necessarily one thing. And here's a cool thing too, as we see, there's people inside of our system, in a little small hole in Nebraska, but they have such an influence inside of their gym, their local community. You know, they truly are an influencer. People forget that. Doesn't matter if you have 1,000 followers. Doesn't matter if you have 40,000. You have influence.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's where a lot of your success comes from, like the quote of like not seeing the entire staircase, but like be willing to take that first step.
There's a time and place for anything, right? There certainly needs to be a time to be a visionary, like, right, get your head out of the weeds, because you don't know like what's happening. You're getting flanked or whatever. But like, hey, you also need to be on the gun. You need to be in the trenches, digging the hole to the left and right with everybody else. You know, if there's a really good book, I would recommend to just about anybody, especially business or really even life, it's Extreme Ownership. You know, and I have a really good relationship, you know, with Jocko and his team. They're great guys, but I'm telling you, a lot of things like I default decisions to that book. You know,
I'm going to read this after.
Yeah. For personal development,
plane
it's a
ride.
great book. You know, faith's really important in my life. If you guys see my Instagram, I kind of post what I read every morning anyway. But you know, I mean, that was a pivotal moment in my life too, and just really opened my eyes. So people ask me often, "What's your top book recommendations?" Well, number one, the Bible. Like you'll never look, it is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
If someone does believe in God and this is the Word of God, why would I want to read someone else's interpretation of something? That said, there are phenomenal self-help books, as you guys saw.
He gave us one. What did he give us? Let's show them.
Magic of Thinking Big.
And you've read this?
Yeah. So funny thing about those books too, people who want to be in management, it's not required reading, but it is.
But it is.
Yeah.
Optional.
Yeah, optional. Highly encouraged reading. By the way, we test that too. If you guys ever want to do this with people you work with, hey, give me a 1-page summary. Give me a book report. Because really what matters, and you get a lot of people like they're success Nazis. I read this, went to this conference, done this. Okay, what have you changed? Like, what have you applied? Like, it's more important
versus
to read.
notches on their belt.
Right.
On
I
their
read 10 books
sleeve.
this year. That's cute. How's your life better?
Yeah, we know people who've read a lot of self-help books.
And there has been no change.
What did you learn from that?
Again, actions, you know, talkers, doers. What are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you said it's definitely, Phorm has become such a lifestyle brand and more than just supplements, but supplements is something that we do get asked about a lot. And obviously we always direct their attention to Phorm. What would be like your number one tip for someone who is like starting to entertain using supplements?
More of a beginner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably ask more questions, but just a blanket
blanket statement.
Yeah. I would say actually, before you added supplements, let's look at your diet first. And I would educate.
Right, everyone's looking for a quick fix.
There isn't a quick fix. But again, it always comes back to speaking the truth. When you're upfront and you tell people that, because there's a lot of people out there selling skinny wraps, skinny teas, this cleanse, things, all of this. You know, and I get it. We're conditioned that way. The path of least resistance.
Right.
Okay. And it's instant gratification. It's not a coincidence that Amazon's our neighbor, and that's also our number one competitor. Literally, we can get on our phones and I could have something at my house this evening that I ordered. Instant gratification. That's not life. That's not success. That's not fitness. There are so many correlates between successful people and fitness. But yeah, if someone brand new, didn't know, you know, nothing from nothing, hey, look, here's actually protein. And I'm going to really break this down for you. There's really only 5 sources: meats, eggs, fish, some cheese, some dairy, and protein shakes. That's where I need you to focus, okay? Now, the other 2, carbs, right? Like what this is.
Yeah.
And then I would grab a label and I would show them, like, hey, here's how I know this is a carb. See that? It says 40 grams. Fat, 0. Protein, 2. Although it has protein, it's still more carb.
Yeah.
Just teach them the basics of nutrition first. Because supplements are that. They supplement your diet and nutrition.
Yeah.
Right? They fill gaps and holes in areas we're lacking. They're very convenient, which is also great. You know, there's a time and place. And I'm a big advocate of good, better, best. Okay.
That's great.
You know, hey, when I was in college and I didn't have any money, if I could have chocolate milk after a workout,
That's good.
pretty good option, right?
Definitely.
Is it as good as a high quality whey isolate protein? No. But again, what can I adhere to at that moment?
Right. And I mean, I'm sure the way that a beginner uses supplements versus like your Tia Tumis of the world,
Yeah.
like
It's
a little
can
bit
you give us an
different.
inside scoop? Like what is Tia Tumi's like favorite
Oh,
like
100%.
supplements?
And she's actually very vocal about this. Loopty fruit. You know,
Loopty fruit?
Loopty fruit, yeah. Formula One and Ignition. She knows the importance of protein and carbohydrates.
Yeah.
You Yeah, and you could see this amongst a lot of the elite level
Right, so many of them were first form athletes.
Right,
insane. Like,
you were
just
talking
saying.
to games, yeah. We had 22. And on the female side, we had a little bit stronger presence, even on the podium. Mal O'Brien, Haley Adams,
Yeah.
Toomey, Bailey Rail, Christy Ermo, Brooke Wells, 5th place.
Yeah,
Brooke, phenomenal. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Considering her injury, coming back, and getting 5th, that's amazing. It was a cool week.
That's so cool.
That's incredible. We did Wadapalooza, and it was
was
epic. And it's such a different vibe that I know than the CrossFit Games, because Wadapalooza is more of like lax. Athletes are willing to talk to you, whereas like I think when you go to the CrossFit Games, everyone is so
laser focused. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's more than fair.
And that's what they compete for, right? Like that's the Super Bowl of CrossFit. So
yeah, absolutely. I guess we talked about the elite athletes. We talked about the beginners. How about that middle person that really has dialed in on their protein and their nutrients in their food and their diet, and then is looking for a supplement? What would you recommend?
You're gonna hate this, but it's just the truth. It depends.
Yeah.
What are your goals? And I really like to explain it this way to people. Fitness is kind of like a triangle. And inside that triangle, like everybody always wants to be everything and all things. The reality is you can't. Oh man, that's a hard one. Because 2 of them, like I talked to pretty.
Then they'll give you leave me on red. Forget about it.
I am very fortunate. I got to work out with Luke and Tia multiple times. I love them both. I would have to say I'm going to work out with Joe Rogan though. Fellow jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah. And I would just pick his brain and after the workout, things like that. Spring break with. People don't get to see this side of her, but like if you watch her story right now, she's in Nashville having a great time. Tia is a lot of fun.
There we go. Full
Turn up Tia.
Yeah. My boy Luke, I'm sorry, baby, but
on red.
Left on red. Sorry.
I know you talked about kind of the staple supplements, but stuck on an island, one supplement only. What are you bringing with you?
Formula One.
Done.
Formula One.
Flavor?
Loopy fruit.
Oh, okay. Most dreaded exercise on the board. The board rolls out. It's time to work out.
Heavy deadlifts.
Okay. That's honest. That would be mine too. Leah, what's yours?
I don't mind deadlifts. Heavy back squat. I'm like, oof. Okay. Most influenced by
Blank.
person.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say Sal. Sal. Yeah.
And why is that? I guess quick.
There's a few of us he refers to us as his kids, but really, like, even from the first week here, even before I came here, there's a few of us, again, he's kind of just taking us under his wing, if you will. And, hey, I wouldn't really do that, but, like, go ahead and brush the guardrail kind of thing. Hopefully you guys have this person in your life, too, and I try to be this for people, like that go-to guy.
Yeah.
Sal's one of those guys, and I actually love this too. When people, hey, I get questions about finances, I get questions about buying a home or like car, like random things I have really no business saying, but like, hey, guess what? If I don't know it, I'll tell you, and I know a guy, hopefully. But yeah, everybody has that go-to guy. Like, hey, that's my panacea. Like, okay, whatever I need, he's gonna help me out.
I love that. We met him briefly.
Yeah.
Okay, most likely to try. Now I kind of know
Now
your
we know the
answer.
answer. Zumba or Pilates?
Oh, Zumba all day.
Zumba.
I've done both.
We'll show you guys the behind the scenes move for sure.
Tip for best night's sleep.
I like to have what they call a caffeine curfew. I dubbed this a caffeine curfew. Yeah.
Agreed.
What time is that?
Man, unfortunately, this hurts my heart. Probably lunch. You should not have it afternoon.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard though.
No, it is. Yeah.
Did you know that J-Lo doesn't have any caffeine?
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
I know. Well, our last podcast was on like celebrity dieting, and we were talking about J-Lo.
What's your caffeine of choice? Is it coffee or like pre or?
All right.
energy?
So I've recently become quite a coffee snob.
My favorite kind of person.
Yeah. Truly, I had like a really nice coffee maker in my office.
Yeah. We heard about it.
Well, no one knew how to make it, and they would always be like, "Hey, Jared,
has
can you make me a
clout.
coffee? Can you make me a coffee?" And so I became a barista. Like, listen, guys, I got to do my work too.
Not gonna happen. That's fair. You should put out the smoothie bar.
Yeah, if I have to do a supplement, actually Summer Cooler Megawatt is my favorite caffeinated one, if you will. But a good cup of coffee is hard to beat. Specifically, you guys are in Wadapalooza. Cuban coffee, it is amazing. It is loaded with sugar. It's this big, and it'll jack you up. And like, oh man, it's great.
That's what we need.
All right.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, you guys come over, I'll make you one myself. So
Done.
Wow.
Consider it done.
We'll be back. Athlete you would love to sign to First Form. Is there anyone out there that you're like really on your radar that maybe this podcast can help reach?
You know, I feel like he would be a phenomenal addition. You know, you talked about like what I look for, things like that. And I know, you know, hopefully he's in the end of his career and on to his next stage. But Rich Froning, you know, I think he fits our mold really, really well. You know, and just if you've ever met him, if you ever talked to him, and very much like Dan Bailey, it's very hard to find something bad to say about him.
Wow.
Send him straight to First Form.
Yep.
And then, all right, we're going to test this out tomorrow. This is your last question. Who do you think can do more star jacks? And do you know what a star jack is?
I don't think, but I think it's where you jump up and...
Yeah.
All right, just put me on the spot here.
We did a star jack competition with the Buttery Bros. That was our claim to fame.
Small.
Oh, Marston.
I'm a star. I'm a star with the flailing limbs. Yeah.
All right. Who do you
So
think?
it's on tomorrow, but who do you think?
What's my time domain?
1 minute? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1 minute.
Oh, I'll win. And I mean that.
Respectfully. Yeah.
Burpees, I can just go dark. Like some things like that. A star jack, I haven't done it, but I'm pretty sure. Actually, it depends. If Will Grumke is there, I don't know if you guys met Will.
Not yet.
Background on Will really quick.
Yeah.
Here's to speak to his caliber of mental discipline. He ran 100 miles around the building. After texting, hey Sal, I'm gonna go for it tomorrow. He told 2 people. Did not really even have a support crew, nothing like that. Started like 5 a.m. and literally just I think he finished at 11:40.
100 miles or 100 laps?
100 miles. 100 miles. And when you see Will's probably 2:05. He's not. You would not look at him and be like, that guy's a runner. But again, he can just go dark. His second marathon ever, he qualified for Boston. His first one, he missed it by like 4 minutes.
I
2
need
weeks
to meet
later,
this man.
he ran another one.
Need to meet him.
Will can go dark. So, but you know, I'm a sprinter. You give me a minute.
It's like game over.
It's game on.
All right, we're putting it to the test.
Yep. 3 minutes, I'm in trouble.
All right. So Zumba or dance class.
We got a lot of plans.
Two-tone
Coffee.
boots.
I'm not forgetting about that.
Yeah, there's a lot happening tomorrow, but
Jared, thank you so much for joining us. I think people can take a lot away from this podcast, especially when it comes to building relationships and supplements, all the things.
owning your shit.
Owning your freaking shit.
And thank you, First Form, for having us here. We're truly honored.
Can't wait to show you guys all the behind the scenes that we're capturing a lot of content. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Jarrett W. Bond 22. But yeah, I mean,
Follow Jarrett. Follow First Form. Follow.
Get involved.
Get involved.
I promise you, I'm much cooler in person. You know, social media is great, but I'd prefer.
Yeah.
If I could put my phone down and be in front of people, I'll do that all day.
We would say the same. Like you said, we were more beautiful in person. We're more charismatic. Same goes for you. But we'll see you guys. Aaliyah, how we wrap it up?
You can tone from home.
You can tone from your phone.
But all we ask is that you don't tone alone. Bye, guys.